Anyone can make $100,000 in their business this year by simply applying these simple 3 steps. In today's training, I'm literally going to show you 3 simple steps that anyone can take in their business to make $100K this year, to where you can work less, you can make more, you can have more time freedom, and honestly, you can leverage the creative nature that God has put on the inside of you to begin to generate incredible amounts of wealth. So let's come here to the board and let's talk about these 3 steps. Here are 3, I'm going to call them 3 levers anyone can pull to make, I would say, your first or your next 100K. Okay? Right here are the 3 levers anyone can pull to make your first or your next $100,000. Lever number 1, you have got to have, actually I'm going to say it like this. You have got to have an irresistible offer. Now again, here in just a moment, I'm going to take a few moments and dive in deep to each and every one of these. But guys, essentially what an irresistible offer is, this is an offer. This is a solution to someone's problem in your market that is so good. It's so good that the person feels like dumb if they said no, right? Like, man, that offer is so good, we would be dumb not to take it. In fact, if you're here today, just wave at me if you're like, man, I've actually said that before. Like, man, we'd be stupid. We'd be foolish not to take that. You know, we'd be foolish not to do this. If you have ever said that before, chances are whatever you said that about was probably an irresistible offer, okay? But the very first thing you need in your business, the very first lever that you must pull if you want to make 100K in your business this year, you've got to have an irresistible offer, okay? What's lever number 2? Let's talk about this. Okay, lever number 2. You have got to begin to understand marketing, okay? You've got to. Like you have to begin to understand how to essentially get known in your market. The biggest punchline I can give you on the broad stroke right here, the biggest punchline I can give you when it comes to marketing is people will buy from someone they know, like, and trust way more than buying from a stranger, you and me included, right? Like, no one wants to just buy from a stranger. It's like, you know, you're walking down the street, doo-dee-doo, and a random dude comes out from the back alley like, yo, man, you want to, you know, buy this harmonica in my jacket? You know, it's like, what? Like, I'm good. Like, no, you're like, it's scary, it's weird, right? But that's what most people do who don't understand marketing. They're like, my offer is the best. And here's the punchline. This scary dude that came around the corner with, you know, his trench coat and harmonicas lined, he might have the best harmonicas in the whole entire universe. But we wouldn't know that because he's a stranger, right? But if you're in the market for a harmonica and, you know, the random stranger pops out, he's like, yo, you want a harmonica? And you're like, no, I'm good. But you walk down the street to Guitar Center, right? Like, well, it's Guitar Center. They probably have harmonicas there. I'm going to go in there. Of course you would do that instead of buying from the random, you know, I popped out of nowhere stranger with the trench coat, because, guys, people always buy. They buy 100% more from people they know, like, and trust than from random strangers. We're going to get into that here in just a minute. Okay, and then the third thing, the third lever that you can pull in your business is you have to. I need at least 10 people in the comments right here to drop these words. Have to. You have to learn and get good at sales. Guys, again, here in just a moment, I'm going to dive into all of these, but a broad stroke idea of sales is if you are not making sales in your business, right? If you are not selling your offer to the market and your offer is something that solves their problem and you're not selling that to people, then guess what's happening? You have zero cash flow, right? And if you don't have cash flow, you don't have a business. So I want to encourage each and every one of you watching today, you've got to start becoming familiar and growing your sales skills. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 10 says it like this: if the axe head is dull and the edge is unsharpened, more strength is needed. But skill, somebody drop the word skill in the comments, okay? But skill will bring success. That's Ecclesiastes 10:10. Okay, so what is Solomon talking to us here? What's he talking about here? He's essentially saying this: listen, it is going to take way more effort to do the same job that you could have done if you would have just had a sharp axe head. And what did that signify in this piece of wisdom right here? He's saying it's skill, guys. So if you have a business, maybe you're a new entrepreneur, maybe you're trying to start your own digital product business, maybe you're trying to get out there and whatever it is, leave your 9-to-5, generate income, build wealth for you and your children and your children's children, it is going to be way harder to do that if the axe head, quote unquote, of your skills of offers, marketing, and sales, if those are not sharp. But I am telling you this right now, firsthand experience. The more you sharpen the skill of putting together an irresistible offer, the more you sharpen the skill of marketing, the more you sharpen the axe head or the skill of sales, the easier it's going to become for you to begin to generate crazy amounts of wealth in your business. And guys, I'm telling you right now, like every single day to this day, I am always working on the skill of offers. I'm always trying to work on the skill of marketing. I'm always trying to work on the skill of sales, because I know that whatever effort I'm putting in right now, it would be less effort, just like Solomon told us here, it would be less effort if my skills were just a little bit sharper. So today in this training, guys, I want to help sharpen your skills with you so that you don't have to work so hard in your business to try to make a little bit of money. You can get your skills so sharp. And I'm telling you this right now, this is the honest truth. Okay, this is coming from someone I've had the privilege, and God has blessed me and my wife so tremendously in e-commerce. I've done 7 figures in e-commerce. I've done over 7 figures in marketing agencies. I've done over 7 figures in intellectual property and royalties in the music world. I've done over 7 figures in consulting. I've done over 7 figures in real estate stuff. I'm not saying any of this to boast. I'm just saying, out of all of that experience, if you boil all of it down to what is needed to find success in any market, in any niche, in any category, you simply need to start with these 3 skills, okay? You have to have an irresistible offer, you have to get good at marketing, okay? And then you have to learn the skill of sales. So if you're taking notes, write this down, okay? What is an offer, okay? An offer is a product or service that solves a problem for your market, okay? Like, guys, business, even though it feels lofty, even though sometimes it can feel like, man, that's so much information, business, just like anything else in life, it really is simple. It's just simple. Really, in this case, it's simple skills, it's simple math. So an irresistible offer is a product or service that solves a problem for your market. Hey, I really hope that you're enjoying the video. I want to invite you guys. I have recently created a free training teaching people how to make money online. My students are literally making anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and some of them even make hundreds of thousands of dollars, not in a year, but in a single day. If you want more information on how you can get started, all you need is a phone and a laptop. You can go to digitalproductacademy.org, or you can click the link below in the description. Guys, after you watch the free training, if it sounds like it might be something cool for you to check out, you can book a free call with one of my client success coaches, and they'll be able to help you more. Now, back to the video. I have a friend, they're a couple friend, a guy and his wife, okay, just 4.5 years ago. They were super broke, man. They were working at a small church. They were struggling to make ends meet, and honestly, because the church was so small that they were serving at, the church was not able to pay them a decent enough salary to support the two of them and their 3 kids, who at the time were living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and they were struggling even to make it in a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay. Truth be told, in the evenings, I mean, the guy would be working at the church. Both of them would work at the church in the day. Then in the evenings, the guy would go and drive Uber just to try to make ends meet. He'd do DoorDash or whatever to try to make ends meet as like a little side hustle. And it is so interesting because the wife, she began to sharpen these skills, okay? And she put together an offer because she was a pastor, because she had a lot of passion and zeal and compassion to help people in life. She was like, what's an offer I could put together for the market that would be irresistible for people around the world? And so she put together a life coaching offer, because if you've done any kind of pastoral work, you're basically like a Christian life coach, but you're real like life coaches out there in the world are getting paid way up here, and church Christian life coaches, aka pastors, they're usually and unfortunately getting paid way down here. So she goes, okay, how can I leverage the skills I already have? How can I put together an offer that would be irresistible to the market? So she puts together an irresistible offer, okay? And the offer is, I'm going to help you in life. And so she gathered a group of people together. And if you're watching here today and you're like, man, only 10 people signed up for my webinar, or man, only 6 people saw my YouTube video, or whatever it is, like, you need to listen in even closer to what I'm about to say, okay? So she puts together this offer. She's going to present an offer, a life coaching offer, okay? And she gets together in a room. She didn't, Zoom wasn't quite around as popular 4.5 years ago. We were using it, but a lot of people weren't yet. Anyways, she gets 6 people into a conference room, okay, at a place, and they're all sitting around the conference table. And she gives a presentation on, here's the problem. If you're not winning in life and you want to win in life, you're going to need X, Y, Z. And then at the end of the presentation, now mind you, up until this point, her and her husband had only been pastors, and they had only driven Uber. Like, this wasn't like some I built up for 12 years and finally I got my breakthrough. It was like, oh, okay, all we need is an irresistible offer. I'm just going to put something together that would literally be irresistible to the market who wanted life coaching. She did the presentation. She made the offer to 6 people because she could only gather 6, right? She made the offer to the 6 people, and she closed in 1 hour. She gave her presentation and made her offer, and in 1 hour, she made $100,000. It was a little bit more, actually. I think it was like 110 or something like that. But she made $100,000 in 1 hour. In 1 hour, just by simply providing an irresistible offer to the market. If that excites you, drop some fire emojis in the comments. Like, listen, if she can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If my other students can do it, you can do it. In fact, I need at least 10 people in the comments say, I can do it. You need to get your belief built up, man. Like, making money is easy if you believe making money is easy, but making money will continue to be hard and difficult if you believe that making money is hard and difficult. Proverbs tells us, as a man or a woman thinks in their heart, so they are, right? So the first thing you need is an irresistible offer. If you're taking notes, write this down, okay? An offer you don't make is an offer they can't take. What does that mean? There are so many people out there right now who would love to pay you for your solution to their problem. Because guess what? If you've already picked your niche, or you've chosen the people group that you want to serve, chances are that group of people, they all have very, very similar problems, okay? And one of the best ways to build wealth is to choose a large group of people who have a large problem and begin to obsess over solving that problem for them more than they obsess with the problem itself, okay? And how are you going to obsess over solving that problem for them? more than they obsess over the problem itself. You are going to say, okay, what's the main problem everybody has? Now, how am I going to fill in the holes of this problem with an offer, with a product, with a service? Now, let's break this down here on the board, okay? So there really are only two kinds of offers. Come on, board, you got this. Here we go. Okay, there's two kinds of offers. And the offers are either going to be a product or a service. I guess there could technically be a third, but this would be like a product and a service together, and those are powerful. But the main two are products and services. Okay, let's start with the service offer first. Okay, this is what a lot of people do whenever they're like, I'm going to go solve a problem for the market. Okay, service offer is basically, it's something you do for them, right? This is usually some kind of labor, okay? Like for instance, if you are an accountant, right? Maybe you're like a CPA or something, like a tax accountant, right? Like, so your business, you are doing a service for these people who need their taxes done. So your offer is, I will do this service for you that will solve your problem of you need your taxes filed, and then you will do the service for them. Another service that a lot of people do, which is cool, and I'm thankful for it, is lawnmowers, right? People who are like, yo, I'll keep up your yard, and you pay me X, and I will mow your lawn, I'll whatever, trim your trees, I'll put, what's that stuff called? Mulch in your flower beds. Y'all can tell I do a lot of gardening in my day. I'll put mulch in your flower beds, whatever it is. That is a service. Now, here's the punchline, okay? Services, they're a really good way to start a business, but services are not a very good way to grow or to scale a business. Why? Because the service offer that you provide, it requires time and effort, okay? For instance, let's go back to the lawn mowing example, okay? Let's say you start a lawn mowing service, okay? That's your offer, and by the way, that's a fantastic offer. A lot of people have that problem. A lot of people are willing to pay people to keep up their lawn. And so you start a lawn service, okay? But here's the crazy part. Like, maybe you could get 4 or 5 houses a week that you like mow their lawn. Maybe if you're doing really good and you maybe have another guy or 2, whatever it is, you have a small team, maybe you could take like 10 houses every 3 days, whatever it is. But what if somebody were to come to you and be like, yo, we heard such great news. I want to hire you guys to do 100 houses tomorrow. Like, you'd be like, okay, cool. We could make a bunch of money. But what you're not considering with a service-based offer is that the only way to scale a service-based offer is with time and effort. So essentially with a service, you're almost getting into like a glorified version of trading your time for your dollar, okay? So that's why I always teach people to start a product, or in our case, a digital product. Because here's the thing, when you create a product, and again, from here on out, I'm just gonna say a digital product. When you create a digital product, you create it one time. Now, what is a digital product? A digital product is an ebook, right? Drop it in the comments if you know some digital products there. Ebook, a course, right? Maybe a membership site, right? A mentorship, etc., right? When you create a digital product, you create this product one time, okay? Now, let's go back to the story with the lawn care guys, right? If somehow a ton of people want the service, the only way you can scale is with more time and with more effort. And the best way to do that is to like hire staff, because now We only have so much effort, AKA strength. We only have so much time in a day, 24 hours each, right? So in order to scale, we're gonna have to hire staff. And if you needed, to do 100 lawns tomorrow, you're gonna need a huge staff immediately. It's just gonna be next to impossible to do. But if you had a digital product and one person purchased the digital product from the internet, okay? They're like, whoa, this is cool. This person is going to, teach me guitar. She's going to teach me how to crochet. They're going to teach me how to dribble a basketball, right? Like, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, whatever niche you have chosen, whatever people group you have chosen to serve, this person can teach me how to do XYZ with their digital product. The crazy thing with the digital product, or products in general, but in our case, digital products, the crazy part is if 1,000 people come to you and they're like, yo, we love your course, we love your membership, we love your ebook, we all want to buy it right now, guess what? You have the leverage to say, cool, go for it. Because where a service is grown with time and effort, okay, a product, it is grown with creativity, okay? And of course, like I said a little bit earlier, you could do a hybrid of like a product and a service together. This would maybe be like, in my case, just because I love digital products so much, maybe this could be like a coaching program, a coaching program to where they get like courses, right? They get maybe like 5 ebooks. They get your cheat sheet on, whatever it is, like the fastest way to do XYZ, and they get once per week live coaching, right? So all of this right here, that is not the right size there. 1 second here. So all of this right here, these are the products, okay? And then anything that it takes your time, these are the services, okay? So this would be an example of, the third kind of offer that you could put together as products and services. But essentially, guys, obviously what you want to do is you want to create some kind of digital product so that way you don't have to keep trading your time and your effort for dollars, okay? So think about this. When it comes to an irresistible offer, okay, let me give you one more example of an irresistible offer, okay? What is an irresistible offer? Like I said earlier, an irresistible offer is something that is so good, it solves the problem so well and so fast for the market that people just feel foolish to not take it. So let's create 3 different offers right here, okay? And let's say all of them are, let's say we're selling a computer, a laptop, okay? And all 3 of these offers, they're all $1,500 because they're all going to be led with this, okay? But let's say on this offer, on the first one, the offer is, it's the computer, it's the laptop, right? The second offer, maybe this offer, is a computer. Let's just say it's an Apple product, okay? It's a computer, and this week only, you also get a free iPhone 10, right? Let me ask you, and I want to know down in the comments here, okay? Which one of these 2 offers is more irresistible? Like, the price is not the issue, right? Because they're priced the same. So the answer is very obvious. The more irresistible offer is the one that has a better value, okay? If you're taking notes, write this down. More stuff is not better. Faster results are better, okay? So a big problem that a lot of people make when it comes to putting together irresistible offers, they are selling the actual value instead of selling the perceived value, okay? The perceived value is what the potential client, all the potential client sees before they pay you is the perceived value. It is, what is this worth to me, because how well can this solve my problem? How fast can this bring a transformation? That's all they're concerned about. So instead of trying to say, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, you're going to get this. You want to point their attention more towards, here is the massive value. Because I want to submit to you this, okay? The only thing that the person gets before they pay is the perceived value of your irresistible offer. That's the only thing they get. They don't get the actual value yet. And honestly, like, no one wants to hear like, oh, you're going to love this program. It only has 437,000 lessons that you have to go through just to get results. And also there's like 400 courses that you have to master. You're going to love that. Like, no one wants to hear that, but they do want to hear you have the potential to do X. You can do Y. What we teach you in the course has allowed our students to do Z. Don't you want that? Like, you need to sell the perceived value more than the actual value. And that's what it means to make an irresistible offer, is to increase the perceived value. So let's go back to the board here. Okay, what if this offer was the computer? Let's say this one was iPhone 10. And this one, I'm going to think of something crazy, like a free cruise. By the way, if you guys know about this offer, if you ever see it, please let me know. I will buy a bunch of them. But the point is this, okay? It's not more stuff, it is more value, right? So out of this example here, which one of these is the most irresistible offer? And the answer is obvious. It's the one that has the most value, okay? So when you're putting together your offer for your market, make sure that you are including in this offer things or transformations that would actually increase the perceived value, okay? Not the literal value. Literal value is awesome and they'll get that after they pay, but you need to make sure the perceived value is incredible, okay? So that is irresistible offers. Let's go here now to number 2. Let's see here. Now we've got the irresistible offer down. Let's talk about marketing, okay? If you are taking notes, write this down. Marketing is the art of getting known in your market or your industry. Marketing is the art of getting known in your market or your industry. If you're taking notes, write this down as well. If they don't know you, then they can't flow you. What does that mean? Well, if you are not known in your market, it doesn't matter how good your offer is. Like, Jesus himself could, do a coaching call for you once a week. That would be incredible. Like, I would love to be on that offer. I would love to purchase that offer. But if there's no way for your market to know that that offer exists, there is going to be no way for them to be able to pay you. So marketing is the concept. It's the art of getting known in your market. There's a concept that I teach on a lot. Let me just do it here. There's a concept that I teach on a lot that basically says the best known always beats the best product. Okay, what does that mean? Here's an analogy that I like to give sometimes, okay? Here is a road, okay? You maybe have seen me do this analogy before. But let's say you and your friends, you're on a road trip, okay? And you guys are really getting kind of dozy. And you're like, whew, we need to stop for some coffee, man, right? Well, on this side of the road over here, you've got this side of the road over here, you've got a Starbucks, okay? And let's see if I can do this here. How does their logo look? Something like this, right? Woohoo! And she's all smiling. You've got the Starbucks over here, okay? And here's the other thing. It's like well lit, right? And everyone's inside, the people are inside, and they're all like so happy because they have their coffee in hand. Woo, I love Starbucks, right? And everyone's in. Oops, he looked kind of mad. I meant to make him happy. Yay! He still looks a little disgruntled. Well, he's one of the ones waking up from his coffee, right? Or she, I just gave her a dress, okay. Anyways, everyone's like, woohoo, we love Starbucks, right? And you guys are driving down the road. Now, let me ask you a question. Does Starbucks make the best coffee in the world? No or no? Let me know in the comments. Which one? The answer is obvious. Starbucks does not make the best coffee in the world. But what if you guys and your friends who are on this road trip, right? You're like, whew, we need to stop for some coffee, man. And you find this, you have two options. Let's call it Coffee King, right? And this store is jank, right? The door's kind of falling off. I always like putting like a random like stray dog who's like really jank and nasty. There's like a tumbleweed, right? It's all kind of dark. It's not really well lit, right? The building itself's kind of decrepit. It looks kind of old and rotten. Somehow there's like a stench coming off of it. I don't know, right? But here's the thing. Coffee King, they make the best coffee in the world. Like Michael the Archangel himself comes down and stirs each cup of coffee with his sword, baby. Let's go. Like, it is the best coffee that ever existed in human history. But here's my question to you. You and your friends, oh, I forgot to draw the car. Okay, you and your friends are down here. You're in the car. You guys are ready for a quick coffee break, right? This is a car, by the way. You guys know you love my drawing, okay? And here's the thing. You're pulling up to the coffee area, and you have one of two choices. Number one, you could either go over here to Starbucks. It's well lit. You know about Starbucks. Everyone in there smiling and laughing, even though they make terrible coffee, right? Or you could come over here to where like the stray dog is like chewing an old boot, and there is a tumbleweed. It's not well lit. There's somehow like a stench coming off the building. It's terrible, right? Which one are you going to go to? You are 100% going to go to Starbucks. Why? Because of this concept in marketing that says the best known always beats the best product. Okay, so when it comes to marketing, you've got to get known, man. Now, I know that for a lot of believers out there, a lot of Christians out there, there's this false mindset that we are not supposed to get known, right? We are not supposed to put ourselves out there. Now, I'm not talking about humility. Obviously, we value humility, right? But I'm talking about like getting out there and getting known. Like there's this false concept in God's house that is, a lot of people call it the nameless, quote unquote, nameless and faceless, right? Number one, there's not a single scripture in the Bible that talks about nameless and faceless. Number one, okay? Number two, how many parents that we got watching on here? If you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you're a grandma, just wave at me, right? Drop some fire emojis in the comments if you're a parent or a grandparent, okay? How terrible would it be if you had all these kids and you're like, you know what? I want you all to be nameless and faceless. I'm not going to give any of you a name, and I'm not going to give any of you a face. I submit to you, one of the most amazing parts about being a parent is to call my son or my daughter by their name and to gaze upon their precious faces, right? Now, I think we have obviously mistaken, we've blurred together the lines of quote unquote getting known or quote unquote marketing with this false concept of selfish ambition is what the Bible calls it, right? Or pride or arrogance, right? Or striving to acquire our fleshly desires, right? And somehow, for whatever reason, God's people love to merge these two ideas together as though they are one. But the truth is, they are not. Okay, the truth is that God has given all of us a name and a face, and there is nothing wrong whatsoever to become so obsessed with your market's problem, so obsessed with solving their problem more than they're obsessed with the problem itself, that you say, guys, hey, you out here in the market, I understand you have X problem. God has given me a solution to your problem, and I want to solve your problem. All you have to do is to pay me and I will solve your problem for you. Like, guys, this is not rocket science, right? If you have a cold, and that's a problem, you are going to go to the doctor's office and you're going to pay them for the medicine and for the checkup. You just paid them for the solution to your problem. If you've got a toothache, right, you are going to go to the dentist because you have a problem, and you are going to pay them so that they can solve the problem of your toothache. I always use the analogy of a grocery store, right? Like your family needs groceries to live. You don't go into the grocery store saying, man, this place is trying to scam me, right? Like, I know this grocery store is trying to take advantage. Like, you never do that. Why? Because they're solving an obvious problem, and you go to them for an obvious solution, and you say, thank you for solving my problem in the form of dollar signs, guys, okay? And so that is how it works with marketing. You've got to get known. If you're taking notes, write this down, okay? You must consistently and accurately be communicating the value of your offer to the market. I'll say that one more time. You must consistently and accurately be communicating the value of your offer to the market. That's really what marketing is, guys. It's getting known in your market as the gal, as the guy who has solutions to that market's problems, okay? So number one, you've got to create an irresistible offer. Number two, you've got to start getting good at marketing. And number three, you have got to become skilled at sales. I will tell you guys this. Excuse me. Sales is like, it's almost like the holy grail of business, because honestly, if you're not making sales, you don't have a business. If you're writing this down, here's my definition of sales, okay? Sales is the exchange of value in the form of a product or a service in return for money. I'll say that one more time. Sales is the exchange of value in the form of a product or a service in the form, sales is the exchange of value in the form of a product or service in return for money. A few years back, I was in Israel, and it was so cool. I was getting to meet all of these amazing Jewish leaders, and I had the privilege of being able to have a Shabbat dinner with a very wealthy Jewish businessman. In fact, this guy was a billionaire with a B, okay? And we sat next to each other at the Shabbat dinner one evening, and I decided, how often do you get to sit down with a billionaire? Like, I'm gonna ask this dude some questions, right? So we're sitting down and we're getting to know each other and stuff, and it got to the point in the conversation where it was appropriate that we were engaging a little bit deeper in the conversation. And I asked him, I said, hey man, let me ask you a question. So why is it that it seems like so many Jewish people are so wealthy? Now, I know it's not 100% of Jews are all rich and wealthy, but most of them are, a lot of them are. Why is it, besides the obvious that God has made a covenant with the Jewish people, is there like a practical reason why Jews have become so wealthy? And without skipping a beat, he looks at me and he goes, brother, it is because we are obsessed with value exchange. And I said, value exchange? Obsessed with value exchange? Can you explain that more? He went on to explain to me, guys, that the only reason why anyone has any money anywhere on the planet is because somebody somewhere sold something for a profit. I need at least 10 people in the comments right now. Drop these words, for a profit, right? Like when we're talking about business, we're not talking about charity. We're not talking about church. We're not talking about ministry. All of that stuff is amazing, right? But in a charity, in a church, in a ministry, you're doing stuff to make an impact. But with a business, you are doing stuff to make income, right? Now, of course, impact and income, they overlap in both of those areas. But the point of a business is to build income so that you can make a bigger impact, right? And so he began to explain to me, wow, the importance of selling. Okay, so here's the punchline, guys. Hey, real quick, if you've made it this far into the video and you're liking it, do me a favor, share this video with somebody that you think might also receive some value. My biggest heart in this channel is to simply bring some awareness, financial literacy, and do it all from a biblical perspective. So go ahead and share the video, like and subscribe, do all that stuff too. Back to the video. Sales Oops. Sales are the heartbeat of your business, okay? This is the heart of your business, okay? And then we're going to say, guys, this is sales. Now, here's the interesting thing about sales, okay? If this is your business here, okay? The heartbeat of your business is sales, okay? And here's the other thing that you need to know. When the heart beats, then the blood flows. And guess what? Just like in real life, if the heart stops beating, the blood stops flowing. Like, it's awesome that you have the best course that has ever existed on media production. It is awesome that you have the most incredible knowledge and insight and mentorship program for people who want to learn how to play the drums. It's awesome that you are the best gardener who has ever lived in human history, and you can literally show people how to grow oak trees in a week or whatever it is. I'm just being goofy, right? All of that is awesome. But even though you have an irresistible offer, even though that you have told the market how awesome the offer is and how well you can solve their problem, when they come to you, if you don't know how to sell, you will not have any money. And your business, the heartbeat will stop beating, the blood will stop flowing, and the body will die, okay? So there is another verse, because I know there's a lot of people watching today who are saying like, I don't really like selling, and sales are so slimy, and I'm not a salesperson, and you know, I really don't like sales. If that's your mantra, then you are in the wrong place, baby, because if you're in business, business is sales 101. Business is, I have a product or a service that can solve your problem in the exchange of money, in the exchange for money. Like, that is business 101. And I actually want to show you guys this verse. I talk about it sometimes here. It's Proverbs 11:26. It says it like this, okay? He who withholds the corn, the people shall curse him, but a blessing shall be upon the head of him who sells it. I need at least 10 people in the comments right now. Drop these words. Sell it. Okay, I'm going to write it here on the board. You've got to sell, man. Sell it. Interestingly enough, I have a buddy of mine. I think you guys are going to get some real cool value from this story, and I'm going to wrap up with this, okay? I have a buddy who recently called me up, and they were doing bad. They were in a financial pickle, and they called me up, and they were like, man, I need prayer. I need a breakthrough. And I said, okay, cool. I would gladly pray for you. But before I do, are you selling anything right now? And they're like, what? What do you mean? And I'm like, well, you know, in your business, because this individual's a business owner. I said, in your business, are you selling anything right now? And they're like, well, no, not really. Like, I'm not really a salesperson. Like, I don't really like sales. And I said, well, that's your problem. I'm going to pray for you right now, but my prayer is going to change a little bit, not just from God give him a breakthrough. My prayer is going to change to God give him a breakthrough to see that all he has to do is sell his way out of this. Like, so this individual already had this incredible digital product that was sitting on the shelf, okay? And I was like, dude, are you selling this thing? This thing is so good. And they were like, well, not really. I don't know. And I said, listen, here's what you got to do. You have got to get all these leads, because they had acquired like 300 leads, in fact, with their ebook, okay? You got to get all these leads that you got from your ebook, and you have got to call all of these leads personally, and you have got to sell this crazy digital product to them. And out of 300, if you can have 300 conversations, 8 might tell you yes. And that would be way more than enough money than you need, and then you're asking for, than you're praying for right now. That would be way more than enough. Like, you already have the answer. Guys, here's the punchline. The ram is already in the bush every single time. Like, Jehovah Jireh has already provided for us every single time, but it's up to us to be obedient to go up the mountain. What Proverbs 11:26 is essentially saying is if you have something good, right, and you don't sell it, if you don't go to the market and try to solve somebody's problem with the good thing that God has given you, essentially you're cursing your finances, right? A curse shall be upon him. But watch the next part. It says, a blessing shall be upon the head of him or her who sells it. You've got to start understanding that sales is part of business. Sales is part of building wealth. It's not just some like get rich quick, like, oh, I'm going to pray and God's just going to poof $1 million into my bank account. That's not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen, right? He could do that, but it's probably not going to happen, right? What is a better chance at you generating incredible amounts of wealth? And like I said at the beginning of today's training, at least, guys, look at me, at least 100K in your business this year is you've got to pull these 3 levers, man. You have to have an irresistible offer. You have to get good at marketing, and then you have to sell. Here's the end of the story, okay? So I consult with my friend, we pray together, and I say, listen, here's what I want you to do. Here's your homework. I know you say you're not a salesperson, but you need to be if you want to be a business person, right? If you need money, all you got to do is go sell some stuff. That's the answer, okay? And they were like, okay, cool. So I said, here's what you're going to do. Take these 300 leads from your ebook, call them up personally, and go make the offer, because how many of y'all ever heard the offer you don't make is the offer they can't take, right? Make an offer to them. Most of them will tell you no. I told them this. Most of them will tell you no, but a few of them will tell you yes. And the few that tell you yes, you will have way more than enough money than you need to get you out of this pickle, okay? So I sent them off with that homework 3 days later. How many days later? Drop it in the comments. How many days later? 3 days later, I call them back up just to check up on them. I said, yo, how are you doing? Did you do that thing I told you to do? Y'all, they were floored. He was like, oh my gosh. He's like, I can't believe this. He said, I called all those leads and I made an offer. I think they had done, I forget exactly how many calls. They had done still under 100 calls, right? He's like, man, I'm not even 100 calls in yet. And just in the past 3 days, I made $20,000. $20,000. That was much more than they needed to get out of their pickle. And I said, see, like, the punchline is this. If you are not where you want to be financially in life or in your business, then you've got to put together an irresistible offer. Let's come back here to the board. If you're not where you want to be in life or in your business, the answer is very simple. All you need to do is pull these 3 levers so that you can make your first or your next 100K in your business. Number 1, you have to have an irresistible offer, a product or a service that is so good that people feel foolish to tell you no. Number 2, you've got to get good at marketing. If they don't know you, they can't flow you. And then number 3, don't withhold the corn and bring a curse upon yourself, okay? The good thing that God has put in you, you've got to go sell it. That way a blessing will be upon your head.